Go around.
That's just some redneck ass. Steve.
Go around.
Take the camera.
Okay, buddy.
What you gonna do?
Whoa!
Oh, shit. What the hell did you just do?
Lion does not feel guilty when it kills a gazelle. You do not feel guilty when you squash a fly. It is called the apex predator.
The movie begins with Andrew, a lonely high school teen who lives with his abusive father and sick mother. With few friends and barely noticed at school, Andrew decides to buy a camera, determined to start recording his life from now on. When his drunk father bangs on his door, yelling for him to open up, Andrew refuses and calmly tells him that he'll be filming everything from this point forward.
I bought a camera and I'm filming everything from here on out.
Later, he visits his bedridden mother, Karen, shows her the new camera, and she warmly wishes him a good day at school. Soon, Andrew's cousin and closest friend, Matt, picks him up, and they head off together. On the way, Andrew explains his plan to film everything, while Matt, singing along to Price Tag by Jessie J, shares a few philosophical insights from the book he's been reading.
Basically, human beings have to recognize themselves as beings of pure will. All emotional and physical desires can never be fulfilled.
Basically, you're telling me that I should give up on life.
Yes.
All caught on Andrew's camera. At school, Matt decides to hang back in the car while Andrew goes in alone, recording his surroundings. He shows where he usually spends his time, the school field, where he also eats lunch as the cheerleaders practice nearby. When one of them notices him filming, she confronts him.
Could you not videotape us, please? It's really creepy.
Things get worse when a group of students bully him, snatch his camera, and mock him before tossing it back.
You want your camera? Piece of shit from like 2004? Here you go. Here she is.
Later that day, Matt mentions a party and insists Andrew should come. Andrew declines at first, but Matt persuades him, warning him not to bring the camera because it makes people uncomfortable.
Maybe leave your camera at home.
Why?
Because it's a little weird.
It serves a purpose.
I'm just trying to be a good cousin here, okay? This is me being your friend and telling you should probably not take the camera to a party.
Back at home, Andrew reviews his footage when his father, Richard, storms in. Without warning, Richard smacks him across the face and throws him to the floor.
When I say open that door, you open the door. You got it?
That night, Andrew reluctantly goes with Matt to the party, where the two quickly split up.
Wow, look, a rave.
Oh wow, look, a nerd with a camera.
Andrew films the crowd dancing until he notices Casey, a girl who also records her daily life for her vlog. When she asks what he's filming, Andrew awkwardly says, "Nothing."
Cool, I'm filming for my vlog.
Matt then tries to impress her with his philosophical rambling, but she's clearly uninterested. Things take a turn when another guy accuses Andrew of filming his girlfriend.
You filmed my girlfriend? Yes or no?
The guy slaps him, spits on him, and walks away. Andrew steps outside, crying in the parking lot as he cleans his camera, feeling like he doesn't belong. Just then, Steve, the popular student running for class president, approaches and invites Andrew to record something he and Matt discovered in the woods. Curious, Andrew agrees. The three make their way to a clearing, where they find a strange hole in the ground emitting eerie noises. While Andrew hesitates, Steve and Matt climb in, forcing Andrew to follow. Deep inside, they discover a cavern with a massive, glowing crystal pulsing with energy. Suddenly, the crystal makes strange sounds, the ground shakes violently, and Steve begins bleeding from the nose before everything goes black. 3 weeks later, the boys are in a backyard testing their newfound abilities. They've bought a new camera for Andrew because they left his old one in the cave. When they throw the ball, it shifts its trajectory, almost like someone is controlling it. When they throw at Andrew, he stops the ball completely using only his mind, though the effort leaves him with a nosebleed. The trio soon experiments indoors with Lego pieces, levitating them effortlessly.
Matt, you have to pretend like you're squeezing them together with your hands.
While Matt struggles, Andrew easily assembles them with precision. It becomes clear that the mysterious crystal has given them telekinetic powers. Later, the boys return to the hole, only to discover it's been completely filled in with soil. While they're still trying to figure out what happened, authorities arrive and warn them to stay away from the area. On the ride home, Steve and Andrew open up about their families. Andrew explains that his father was once a firefighter but had to quit after an injury. Now he spends his days at home, living off government checks, drinking heavily,
He drinks a lot.
and taking his frustrations out on Andrew. Steve admits that his parents fight constantly
They just been fighting a lot lately. I think my mom is actually cheating on my dad.
and that their home life is far from perfect.
Can you not say anything about that?
That night, Andrew secretly practices levitating his camera with his mind. He overhears his father on the phone, begging someone for more medical assistance for Karen, who is getting worse. Richard admits he can no longer afford her medication. The next day, Andrew takes his mother out to the marina, where they share a rare, peaceful moment together.
You're stronger than this. Can you say that for me?
I'm stronger than this.
Later, Andrew and Matt practice by tossing stones into a lake. Andrew asks if Matt actually likes him, to which Matt replies yes, though he admits Andrew used to be difficult to talk to. Andrew then wonders if they can do more with their powers.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about, doing more with it?
But Matt shrugs it off, saying he doesn't really care. At school, Steve reads up on telekinesis, while the trio uses their abilities to pull small pranks on classmates. Matt later shares that he managed to lift his bed the night before without getting a nosebleed.
This is my theory, though, is that it's like a muscle. It's elastic. If you stretch it too far, too quick, it'll tear. That's why I think we're getting stronger, because we're working it out, getting buff.
Andrew suggests they practice somewhere more public, so the three head to a supermarket. There, they entertain themselves by pulling harmless tricks on strangers, and Matt tries to snatch gum from someone's mouth, but ends up knocking them into the shelves instead. At a diner, Andrew stabs Matt's hand with a fork, and it bends. Realizing their powers also make them resistant to sharp objects and impacts.
You just pretend that there's a barrier over your hand, right? And then when things are going to hit you, as long as you're ready, they will not hurt you because of the barrier.
Over pancakes, Matt admits he once wanted to be a cop so he could help people. Andrew scoffs at the idea.
You do know you can't smoke weed when you're a cop, right, Matt?
But no, I really got into altruism.
So what, you want to go out and start a charity or something? It's lame.
I mean, why is that lame?
I don't know.
He then shows off by creating an image of the Virgin Mary on his plate, startling a waitress for fun. In the parking lot, Steve takes things further by moving a woman's car into another spot. His friends are impressed, noting it's probably the heaviest thing any of them has lifted so far. Though his nose bleeds, Steve insists he's fine.
I'm having a face period.
Oh, man.
When the woman returns, baffled at how her car moved, the boys laugh hysterically. On their drive home, a pickup truck tailgates them, honking to make them speed up. Andrew loses his cool and decides to nudge the truck with his powers, but he overdoes it. The truck swerves violently off the road and crashes into a river. Steve immediately dives in and rescues the driver, while Matt calls the police, despite Andrew begging him not to. Soon, authorities arrive and help the man. Later, Steve is shaken by what happened, and Matt confronts Andrew. Furious, he scolds him for nearly killing someone and putting an innocent man in the hospital. Matt warns that their powers are getting stronger and harder to control. To keep things safe, he insists they establish rules. Never use their powers on living beings. Never use them when angry, and never use them in public or reveal them to anyone. The next day, Matt and Andrew drive out to meet Steve. On the way, Matt admits he's no longer angry about the accident, but warns Andrew that they need to think before they act. When they arrive at a landfill, they find Steve floating high above the ground. He urges them to give it a try. Matt goes first, but struggles, crashing face first several times.
Eating dirt,
Get behind me, you're in my way.
What do you mean I was in your way?
Andrew steps up and, to everyone's surprise, gets it right on his first attempt. Soon, all three manage to lift off, mastering the art of flight. They soar across the sky at incredible speeds, even tossing a football back and forth in midair. Suddenly, a plane zooms past, knocking Steve off balance. He loses control and plummets toward the ground. Andrew swoops in, grabs him, and slows their fall just before impact. Both land safely, and Steve, overjoyed, celebrates Andrew as his hero. Matt joins in, and the three laugh and cheer together, thrilled to discover they can truly fly. That night, they crash at Steve's house for a sleepover. The conversation drifts to relationships, and Andrew shocks them by admitting he's never had sex. Despite the awkward moment, he smiles and tells them this was the best day of his life. The following day at school, the trio dream big, talking about where they'd fly if they could go anywhere in the world. Steve suggests a weekend trip to Malibu, while Andrew proposes Tibet.
I've always wanted to go to Tibet.
Where Tibet?
Tibet? Yeah, it seems really beautiful,
Drawn to its beauty and the monks he admires for their discipline and rumored ability to levitate.
And the monks have achieved such a high level of enlightenment that they can, float and shit, so we would fit right in.
We could really mess with their heads as well.
On the way home, Matt excuses himself to celebrate his mom's birthday and flies off. Later, Matt visits Casey at her home to hand her a donation for drought relief in the Central African Republic, something she mentioned on her vlog.
Do you mind if I film you?
A little bit. I don't really like being on camera.
It turns out they were a couple back in the day, but Matt acted like he was too smart for her, and that's why they broke up. She hands it back to him, telling him he should mail it himself, then bluntly asks why he suddenly cares about people and world issues when he used to keep to himself. Matt admits he's changed, and now has a deeper understanding of others. He hints that he'd like to spend time with her, but Casey simply closes the door. Meanwhile, Andrew and Steve sit on a rooftop chatting. Steve watches in amazement as Andrew skillfully moves his camera around with his powers.
I can't do stuff that requires finesse. I tried to type my name out yesterday and I cracked my keyboard in half.
No, dude, it's really easy. You think that you're holding it.
They open up about their families. Steve explains how distant his mom has grown and how his dad never listens, while Andrew confesses he's been lonely most of his life, barely even hanging out with Matt before all this. Wanting to help, Steve suggests they enter the school talent show. He promises to guide Andrew through it, saying it'll be a great way to meet people and finally step out of the shadows. On the day of the talent show, Andrew dresses up and shows his mom,
You look handsome.
who happily tells him she's glad he's finally going out with friends. But before he can leave, his father Richard stops him. Suspicious, Richard points out that Matt hasn't been picking him up for school lately.
How you getting to school? Matt doesn't come. Didn't drive up. You leave the house. Who the hell's giving you rides to school?
Matt.
All right. You know what? You're lying.
Convinced Andrew is hiding something, Richard vows to find out. At the talent show, Matt films the event while Casey, also recording for her vlog, approaches him. She teases him, saying it's strange to see him behind a camera. Matt laughs, then points her attention to the stage. Steve bursts out to hype up the crowd, then proudly introduces Andrew. Andrew steps into the spotlight, and together they perform a jaw-dropping magic act. First, Andrew drops a pack of cards only to summon them back into his hand without touching them. Then he juggles several balls before levitating them mid-air. And finally, he walks across a tightrope while juggling. The performance wows the audience, who erupt into cheers and applause. For the first time, Andrew basks in admiration and attention. After the show, the boys head to a party where Andrew becomes the center of attention. Students greet him, chant his name, and shower him with praise. Relishing the moment, Andrew meets a pink-haired girl, and they hit it off right away. Soon, he's dominating a game of beer pong to loud cheers. The girl kisses him, and before long, they slip upstairs together. Meanwhile, Matt, still filming, asks Steve where Andrew went. Steve chuckles, saying Andrew's upstairs, becoming a man.
Hey, Andrew, I hope you're seeing this. Congratulations, sir. And I want you to know I love you. I was really worried about you before all this, you know? But dude, things are gonna get so much better for you now. I really, really feel that.
Casey then finds Matt and invites him to leave the party with her. Now holding the camera, Steve heads upstairs, joking about Andrew finally having his big moment. But just as he reaches the door, the pink-haired girl storms out in disgust, covered in vomit. Andrew had accidentally thrown up on her mid-intimacy.
Drew, it's okay, man. Don't worry about it. Look, it happens to the best of us, okay?
Steve bursts into laughter.
No,
Stop
cool,
laughing.
Man. What are you talking about? It's cool, man. It's
No,
cool.
it's not cool, Steve. Stop.
Drew,
What's your problem? You think this is funny?
No, I'm not laughing.
Get out!
The next day, Andrew plays with a spider, levitating it in the air before cruelly ripping it apart piece by piece. Later, while Andrew tends to his mother, Richard rummages through his room and finds the camera. Enraged, he confronts Andrew about wasting money on a camera while Karen desperately needs medication.
Hoarding a $500 camera while your mom dies in there? I mean, how selfish can you be? You're running around this town, spending my money. Look at me when I'm talking to you!
I didn't spend any of your money, Richard.
I don't have a dime to spend. I went through your camera.
What did you see?
Just you being a loser. You think that those people are your friends? They're not. You're an embarrassment.
But this time Andrew snaps, calling him an idiot. Furious, Richard attacks, pinning Andrew down. In a sudden outburst, Andrew uses his powers to reverse the situation. Andrew coldly warns that he could crush him if he wanted to, before hurling him to the floor. He records Richard writhing in pain. Meanwhile, Matt is hanging out with Casey when his nose suddenly starts bleeding, even though he hasn't used his powers. There's clearly some mysterious bond connecting the three of them. Concerned, Casey asks if he's okay, but Matt brushes it off. Elsewhere, Andrew hovers in the middle of a thunderstorm, sobbing. Steve eventually tracks him down.
How did you find me?
I don't know, man. My nose was bleeding and I heard your voice or something like that.
He urges Andrew to calm down, come back to the ground, and trust that everything will be all right. But Andrew, overwhelmed and furious, screams at Steve to leave him alone.
Will you stop acting like you give a shit?
Why are you talking to me like this? I'm your best friend.
I don't have any friends.
In a terrifying instant, a bolt of lightning strikes Steve, sending him crashing to the ground. The next scene shows Andrew filming a funeral. Matt, Casey, and their classmates are present. It's Steve's funeral. As the service proceeds, Matt casts Andrew a cold, accusing glare. Afterward, he confronts Andrew, demanding to know what really happened.
How do you get struck by lightning during a storm with no recorded lightning strikes? And they found Steve out in the middle of a field. Why would Steve go out in the middle of a field during a lightning storm, Andrew?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know what happened, Matt.
I don't believe you, okay?
When Matt demands he turn off the camera, Andrew refuses, sparking a scuffle. Rather than continue the confrontation, Andrew flies away, distancing himself even further. The next day, Andrew visits Steve's grave and apologizes for what happened.
Please believe me, Steve. Please. It's just I don't know what I did. I lost control. I'm so sorry.
From there, he goes back to the pit where they first discovered their powers, only to find it overgrown with grass and strange circular patterns forming around it. At school the following day, Andrew becomes the center of ridicule. Students mock him for vomiting on the pink-haired girl at the party. His bully takes it further by mimicking the moment. Consumed by anger, he confronts the bully and uses his powers to rip several teeth straight from his mouth. Later, inside a bathroom stall, Andrew proudly shows the camera the bloody teeth, explaining how he pulled them out. At a junkyard, Andrew speaks directly to his camera about evolution and the idea of an apex predator. He explains that predators don't feel guilt when killing prey, just like humans don't feel bad about stepping on ants. He declares himself the apex predator, claiming his powers make him superior to everyone else. To prove his point, he effortlessly crushes a car behind him with his abilities. Later, Matt storms into Andrew's room and confronts him about his violent behavior at school. He insists they stick to their rules because their powers are becoming too dangerous. Matt warns that if Andrew doesn't stop hurting people, he'll have to intervene. Andrew refuses, arrogantly claiming he's stronger than Matt. Their argument escalates until Matt throws a punch, but Andrew blocks it without even touching him. Matt storms out while Andrew packs a bag and leaves. Before heading out, he gently checks on his sick mother, using his powers to pull a blanket over her. He then goes to a pharmacy, asking for her medication, but the pharmacist demands $700 up front for next-day delivery. Andrew doesn't have the money. Desperate, he takes drastic action. Wearing his father's old firefighter suit, he sets out to rob people. First, he targets the neighborhood guys who often mock him.
Man, is that Andrew? It sounds kind of like Andrew under there.
When they laugh at his demands, he blasts them violently into cars and onto the ground, knocking them all unconscious before taking their cash. But after counting it, he realizes it isn't enough. Next, he robs a gas station, slamming the cashier into a wall and emptying the register. As he leaves, the cashier chases him with a shotgun. Andrew disarms him with his powers, but the gun fires into a gasoline tank, causing a massive explosion, leaving Andrew badly injured and unconscious. Andrew is rushed to the hospital, his body covered in bandages. His father, Richard, arrives and breaks down in tears. Through sobs, he tells Andrew that his mother has died. Grief quickly turns to rage as Richard blames Andrew for her death.
She died last night while I was out looking for you. If I just could have been there for her. You know, I was always there for her when you're out screwing around. And this one time, she needed me, and you took me away. I want you to apologize to me. I know you can hear me, so I want you to sit up right now and apologize to me.
This is your fault!
His yelling growing louder and louder until Andrew suddenly wakes, grabs his hand, and unleashes a powerful blast that blows a hole straight through the hospital room. Matt is at a birthday party when his nose suddenly starts to bleed. He immediately senses something is wrong with Andrew.
How can you not hear that?
I don't hear anything.
Something's wrong with Andrew.
His suspicion is confirmed when he sees a breaking news report about an explosion at the hospital where Andrew was admitted. Without hesitation, Matt grabs Casey's car and races to the scene with her. When they arrive, he spots Andrew holding his father high in the air before letting him fall. Matt swoops in just in time, catching Richard mid-air in front of shocked onlookers.
How did you do that?
Andrew then takes off, and Matt quickly gets back into the car with Casey to give chase. The chaos escalates when Andrew causes a helicopter to crash. He lifts both the car and its passengers high into the air. Grabbing Matt, Andrew releases the car with Casey still inside. Matt immediately dives after her, pulling her from the car just before it crashes and flies her to safety.
You have to stay here, okay?
Matt!
He then returns to confront Andrew. By now, people are recording everything on their phones while police scramble to contain the unfolding disaster. Matt flies up to Andrew and tries to reason with him, begging him to stop. But Andrew, consumed by rage, declares it's too late. He calls Matt and everyone else weak, insisting he's been mistreated all his life.
It's over! God, you treated me like shit!
You left me alone. Andrew, you're not alone up here. We can stop this right now, you and me. Andrew, we can just fly away. We can get out of here. We can be family. Andrew, look at yourself. This isn't who you are. What?
I'm an apex predator.
In his fury, he hurls a bus straight at Matt, sending it crashing into a building. The battle intensifies as the two smash through buildings, roads, and apartments, trading blows and hurling vehicles at each other. Andrew shows no concern for the innocent people caught in the crossfire. At one point, he crashes into a power pole and is briefly knocked unconscious. But as Matt rushes over, police surround them. Matt begs the officers not to shoot, but one fires and wounds him in the hand. Andrew wakes and retaliates by blasting all the officers away before launching back into the sky to continue the fight. Their clash finally descends into a crowded plaza, where police surround them again. Matt makes one last desperate attempt to reach his cousin, pleading with him to stop before more people get hurt. But Andrew is far gone, screaming as his powers erupt, shaking the surrounding buildings and shattering windows. The police open fire, but Andrew freezes the bullets mid-air and then blasts them away effortlessly. Realizing there's no way to save him, Matt understands he must make the ultimate choice. Behind Andrew stands a statue holding a large steel spear. Using his telekinesis, Matt launches it straight into Andrew's body, impaling him. The entire plaza falls silent as Andrew hangs lifeless in the air. As the police approach, Matt takes off into the sky before they can capture him. Time passes, and Matt is seen flying across vast landscapes, over oceans, deserts, and snowy mountaintops. Eventually, he records a video tribute to Andrew. In it, he apologizes to his cousin and says he hopes Andrew can understand his choice. He promises to uncover the truth about the pit where they gained their powers. Turning the camera toward a Tibetan monastery,
I've always wanted to go to Tibet.
You made it.
He points out its beauty. With one final goodbye to Andrew, Matt shuts off the camera and walks away.